Market is still staying close to that $1 trillion psychological level, kind of flirting with that mark, and Bitcoin is flirting with $21,000. And I kind of see a lot of questions like, $21,000, Bitcoin is still there, and how can you really say we are bullish? Now, it depends on which asset you're looking at. If you're in altcoins, you're looking for the altcoin market. Altcoin market has just broken above its 21-day moving average, and the pattern here, that is bullish, but the time horizon there is on a daily chart, so you're not looking for an ultra bull run. You're looking for a relief rally. Fine. So on a 3-day, that shows you like you're breaking from this pattern. Fine. But you now need to break through the 21-day moving average and the trend line resistance on a 3-day chart. Fine. Once you do that, you do have upside. But what is important here to look at is this. This is the altcoin market on a weekly. That's long term. You're looking at a macro chart. And once you zoom in, you kind of understand like, okay, each time we went up and consolidated like this, we did break higher and go higher. But yeah, it took 1 year here, and then the next one was 231 days. So here, if you are taking that, first one is 434 days. So the next one here should be around 300 days. Fine. Now it's 250 days. So by the time you actually come back up here, it should take you around 300 days. So that literally means next 50 days, you do have upside, and that upside is not exponential. It's just 80%. And if you're breaking through that at that time, now that is where we call it a big rally just starting, because once you break this the first time, that's a mini rally you get. The second time you break that is an ultra rally inside that market. So first we have done that. This is the second time. So if you are in this market looking at a lot of different assets, don't get confused. You are going to see movements. Some of the item which you need to keep focus on is like this. This is Ether. You're breaking through that. Fine. You don't just have to, scratch your head and ask that question. You do have resistance here close to 1,700. So $1,700 Ether is going to be having a level of resistance similar to that of Bitcoin at the 30K. And then you're looking at Ethereum. It's on a long-term trend line. It is still standing there. So that actually means it is showing you that the market can actually run higher. It's at the bottom. The RSI has dipped and it's coming back high. Now, at the same time, you are looking at what's happening in and around you. And that's really interesting to see some of these evolving in a way. You don't need a conspiracy, or you don't need anyone else to explain this. You're just looking at this and you're asking that question. Okay, did I just see Bank of Australia, a central bank, coming out and saying like, okay, we can still rely on the privately issued tokens, digital tokens issued by a private company can still be better. Fine. And then we are like, okay. We kind of get that. Digital coins issued by private, but they don't need the volatility. So I'm not saying it's XRP. I'm saying it's something built on XRP ledger. That is a huge possibility, because Novati is not a small company and it's doing cross-border payments especially. They're focused on that. They are refining there, and it's all playing out. So as we dig through, we have to keep mind some of the assets are breaking higher, and if you are in this market, you are literally observing some of them going nuts, right? They are starting to move up, and if you are in this market, make sure you do balance your portfolio in a way like you have fundamental coins, you have a little bit medium fundamental coins, a little bit riskier, and then you have some risky coins. Now, it depends on your risk tolerance and how you manage your portfolio, but unless you have some of those coins which can explode, the gains would be limited. So even if you're spreading a little bit, say 10% of your portfolio into that range, it may help you. Look at these. When the market goes up, you can see the medium cap, small cap, micro cap coins bursting, right? So they actually tend to do higher. If you're looking at DEND, it's actually bursting higher. That's actually a good sign to see like it's breaking through this, and it can literally do 2, 3, 4x from here in a short-term scenario. Now, macro, that's going to be huge gains coming on, but you do understand like within first 500, you do see a lot of coins which are starting to move back up high, And when we actually get these 30-40% a day in different coins, we don't say it's a bear market. Fine. At least I won't say like this is a bear market. Yes, looking at XRP, you kind of have like a resistance which you need to break, and even though you're going to come back up, it's going to be a little bit confusing there. But when you actually take on the Bitcoin dominance chart and zoom in and look at what's happening, you kind of get an idea, okay, this is literally what's happening in the market. So I can see that there is a huge possibility that this event may come out and unveil itself in the next couple of weeks, most likely. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. So now you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance on a daily, a little bit zoomed in. You're looking like the MACD is going to cross back to the downside. We may go back down. The RSI is still trending lower. Price in terms of dominance is actually slowing down. So you are breaking a level of support, which if not held, you're going all the way down here around 40 and then 39. Now that, when you zoom out, looks like this. Now that'll kind of give you actually a narrative that if you are actually breaking this level of 41, look at the RSI. On a 3-day, you kind of see like, okay, that has been a support, and if you're breaking that, that's going to be interesting. We are going to go all the way towards 39. That's just like a couple of percentage down in the Bitcoin dominance. But at the same time, you're going to see a lot of altcoins running higher. So 2% of capital moving out of Bitcoin, or 2% more coming in the altcoins, does make a huge difference if you are in the right assets. Right? Some of them do 10, 15, 20% and then come back 50% down. But it's actually fine if you can repeat that 2, 3, 4, 5 times in next couple of weeks. That is going to make a huge difference. Now, we are looking at XRP and saying like, okay, this is what I'm in and this is what I'm looking at. You're like, okay, we do have to break the 21-day moving average on a 3-day chart. Now, it's like a lot of different steps are evolving here. And as we look at this, we need to break through that. There is no doubt that we need to break through that. But when we zoom in, there's a 4-hour chart of XRP. You kind of had a resistance. You broke that one. Fine, you're trending higher. You made a higher high and came back lower, testing this previous high and made a higher low. So now we actually made a higher low, higher high, another higher low, and then again went on to make another higher high. So if we are bouncing from this particular level, which we are holding even now, that actually shows you like, okay, we may have a chance to bounce all the way up to 3.9. Now, what does that actually mean? If you are here on a 3-day chart, 3.9 means you're breaking through this 21-day moving average on a 3-day chart. So most likely you're going to go retest this range of 0.5, 0.6. Now, once you're going to do that, yes, that is going to be a resistance. We're going to get some resistance there. But depending upon the level of volume we have in the market, it may change the scenario. Because you're looking at the Ethereum on a dollar terms and you're like, okay, it still has room to go to the upside. And it may still do like a 20-30% to the upside, gives the entire altcoins feeling like, okay, we are all moving up. And then on the trend line, that shows you like, okay, you are going to go test this moving average, which can still be like around $2,500 for Ether. Now, then you step back on Ether USD to look like, okay, altcoin and Bitcoin. You're looking at that scenario. Fine. As you go back up to retest this level, now this is Ether to BTC, so don't get confused. As this goes up, that means you need less number of Ether to buy the BTC. So fine, if this is going up, that means it's an altcoin season. So if you are able to break through this, you are going to observe an altcoin season. And it kind of gives you that narrative when Bitcoin dominance is breaking lower. Okay, possibility is still there that this can break to the upside. Now we are looking at the RSI. On the side of RSI also shows like, okay, we are closing in on that resistance. And if we can break that resistance, that does give us the ability to run higher. And then on the bottom, the MACD is still kind of congested. It's inside that move. It's not getting a wider mouth there. It's still trying to close back in. And with this close, if we get a breakout in the RSI, that will allow the price to push through this. So that's like your moving average zone. You're going to break that. and then you're going to go ahead and break this resistance. So once that resistance is broken, you now have room all the way to the upside. But there's an ascending broadening wedge, which usually is a bearish pattern, and that's the only cautionary symbol which I'm watching in the market for Eth And Btc there, which kind of indicates like, okay, if you get rejected here, now we are coming all the way back down, which signals like Bitcoin may run higher. So now you're like, okay, Bitcoin dominance is breaking lower. Altcoins are showing like we are going to go for a run. Then if that happens and Bitcoin goes high, how does that change, or what does that actually change, or how much time it may push us forward? So that come back to this narrative. We are in the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 scenario where we are just at the bottom. We may come back up testing $28,000-$30,000 per Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin reach that level and kind of consolidate there, I think that's when a lot of price action will be there in the altcoins. Now I'm talking about the large cap coins. So you're coming back here on say Coin Paprika and you're going to watch the large cap coins. We understood that the small, micro, medium cap are actually running higher. In the large cap sector, in this particular segment, you're looking like, okay, we are kind of green last 1 week. We are still staying there. And you still kind of get like some of these coins, say ETC is 26 and Filecoin is 44. So all of them come in first 50 and they're still slowly grinding higher, making a new trend to the upside. Now, APE, ICP, all of them are slowly trying to go back up, maintaining that trend. Now, while you look at that, you are like, okay, fine. I'm looking at the liquidity side of this, and the market does have some liquidity. Bitcoin just below $1 billion in buy and somewhere close in sell. So you do get market participants actively trading this particular asset, whereas on Ether, you see like the sellers are having more momentum. So now at this point, I would say like, okay, that means there is a possibility that the price may go higher. It may conflict this one, but usually it kind of goes a little bit up, trying to check whether those sellers are strong. If not, they'll be liquidated and the price can continue higher. This usually happens in a lot of different assets. So keeping that in mind, now we are looking at XRP and it's same. 95 million in buy and 98 million in sell. So if the price goes higher, some sellers are going to get liquidated. So liquidations, now that means it's actually not bad for the general market. But those are like traders being liquidated, and that's kind of healthy for the entire market structure to work here. So when you're looking at this, fine, you don't actually have to go play on a weekly chart to get those liquidations. I personally believe like even if you're going on a 12-hour chart where you kind of break it down like, half the day, and you're looking like, okay, this breakout can bring in a lot of people to the upside. And why do I say that? Because if you're actually plotting this, you kind of see like, okay, let's actually take all this out and just look at this. This is your resistance. So this is your resistance trend line. So you're breaking this to the upside. So those who are selling right now are betting that the price of XRP is going to go back below here. But when I'm looking at this, you had a cross of the short-term moving average to the upside, meaning 21-day moving average just crossed upside for the 50-day moving average. Then you came back lower, that's the retest, and now you're trying to go back up again. So I would consider that as a retest and bounce because it did not make this low, it was higher. So if you are continuing that till 0.45, that's like you are hitting the target for this particular short-term pattern, but at the same time, you're liquidating a lot of people on the other side. That's like $3-4-5 million being liquidated who are betting against XRP. Now, you kind of turn like, okay, fine. How do you get these targets? You can kind of take like a conservative target like this, saying, okay, once you break higher, your target is like 26%. You break here and you are reaching somewhere close here. That's your conservative target. And then if you want to be optimistic, you're looking for this from the wick lower and you're extending that 34%. So you come close to this range. So that's your optimistic target if you are trading. And the other one is your conservative one. Now, fine, you can actually slowly go back on a daily chart and look at this, where your MACD is. Then you're looking like, okay, the MACD has been trending lower and then it's just trying to come back into this positive territory. It has not done that yet. So if you are keeping this line here for RSI and asking that question, look, price broke higher, RSI broke higher, RSI is also trending to the upside, which kind of gives you the ability to understand, okay, RSI may break higher. That's a huge possibility that RSI is going to do that. And now you're going on different time frames. Like before you kind of say, okay, that's bullish, you need to actually look at 3-day, weekly, monthly to kind of see like what's happening. So on a 3-day, you're going up, but that doesn't actually mean you're going to go parabolic from here. As I told before, you have a resistance like this. So when the price is bouncing and the RSI is moving up, we need to break this particular range. So if we are not breaking this range, that may kind of slow down the price again, because you do have this macro level resistance playing out. So here you broke higher, you retest it, and you're bouncing. So now your next one is going to be this level of support, which you are trying to keep on. So that's your support right now. After that, your resistance most likely will be projecting this one. Now, we don't know where the second one is going to be, but if we are breaking higher, that changes the dynamics. So now you're going on a monthly chart. Fine. That's the macro view for XRP, where you're asking like, okay, that's short term. What can I actually see on a macro level? So on a macro level chart, XRP is still below its moving averages, and usually whenever we have spent time below moving average, that used to be a big time to buy. And if you look back in history and you understand something, that's like whenever you bought below the moving average on a monthly, your upside was substantially good. So if you are averaging here, you didn't get the exact bottom, fine, you still managed to get like 7 to 8x. So if we are putting that into perspective, that means you're going back to test this previous high of $2 and even above that to test the previous all-time highs. So if you are in this market right now and trying to make sense of the market, then understand this. The market is here kind of rhyming. It's kind of rhyming what that's been doing in the last cycle. And you go to different various assets and you kind of see like, okay, this particular asset is doing this asset is breaking higher, this asset is getting volume. You know, a lot of shifts happening inside the market. Initially, like I told before, you kind of go up and kind of liquidate some sellers, and then those sellers are removed. Now buyers dominate. So if you're looking at these coins, you kind of get like, okay, 15 million in buy and 12 million in sell. So kind of buyers are slowly dominating. Then you look at ETC and you're like 40 million in buy and only 26 million in sell. Why is that? There would have been a lot of sellers who have been kicked out with this movement, who kind of bet against that, and right now the price is going higher. So that's like, you know, you're looking at the matic here, 38 million in buy and 44 million in sell. So if the price goes 10-20% to the upside a day, you kind of get a lot of liquidations, and now they are out. Then people chase green candles, right? A lot of people does that. Now, even at some time, I'm also, you know, kind of tempted to do that. So I don't think like, you know, anyone as a human being can kind of remove that emotion completely, but you can balance it. Say, okay, I have that temptation, but I'm not going to do that. Fine. So right now in the market, you have opportunities coming in, and at least till 27th of this month, you're going to get that. Now on 27th, we'll have to see how the market reacts to the Fed decision. But if you are in this market, you do kind of get that understanding, right? XRP, we are heavy on that, and each day the news which comes out kind of remove that cloud from this. We all had a doubt of cloud because of the SEC case and slowed down of adoption, central bank digital currencies coming out, and you have a lot of competitors. Now that's not bad. You have XRP, you have XLM, HBAR, Quant, XDC, all of them in this payment space, and you're like, okay, we really don't know how much of this is going to be absorbed by XRP. But the way it goes is like we are going to be one of the major player in this payment industry. So when you look at this, it's like, okay, one of the biggest selling pressure which we had on a regular basis was from this particular guy, and now that's done. We are happy that it's done, and we have more buying power, meaning a lot of people are still in the market and they're still buying, like me, you, and all who are really interested in buying more. And now the selling pressure is easing, which means when the price goes up, sellers are going to be kicked out easier, and you're going to retest this range. Now it's not big move, but still reaching back to that 0.6 and erasing this Luna Terra is one of the great stuff which we are observing, and I think we are going to see that in a couple of weeks, slowly moving to the upside. So remain strong in this market. Don't let the FUD and fear mongering kind of kick you out of this market taking the hit. because in some time, maybe 3 months, you may regret that decision. I believe that opportunity is still there in the market. Either you can go with that. Now, pain is pain. The only question is, you went through all this pain. Are you going to be rewarded, or are you going to end up in regret? So that's a simple question. So like, if you are there in the market right now, you're choosing regret. It's completely your personal choice. But I think the best option, logical options would be like, just choose the reward. We don't know when it's going to come, but you have waited till this point. And if you are having that cognitive ability to think positively, you're going to make this from the market. So guys, if you are receiving value, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. And if you're looking for all these information on various different coins which are breaking higher, kind of retesting and bouncing, you have massive opportunity right now in the market, and we've been going through all this regularly. And when you are in a market where you are getting coins running crazy, and you get the right time, right alerts on the right coins, you kind of have an edge over the market. So if you are looking at that, I'll put the Patreon link in the description below so you can have a look at that. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.